Hey friends, welcome back to Stappystamper. My name is Terry Stapp and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Central Texas. This is video 2 of the Boo Buddies series. There will be 5 total. So welcome to number 2. Last week we made this awesome box that opens up into a little exploding box. You can make it with gift card holders in each section, or you can glue these down and you don't have to put gift cards in there, but you can fold it up and fill it full of your Boo Buddies' favorite candy, and they will absolutely love it. Now, if you aren't familiar with Boo Buddies, what I decided to do was do a series of things that you can do during the Halloween season for gift giving versus necessarily all card making, because a lot of people don't tend to send Halloween cards, but people do give treats. So oftentimes in a school, on a campus, in an office, you draw names and you'll have like a secret pal that's called a Boo Buddy. And then for like those 5 days before Halloween, you give a gift each day to your Boo Buddy. So the box idea was the first craft that we made. Today, I want to talk about this box right here, not box, this card right here. This is another thing that you could do on one of your Boo Buddy days. It is a gift card holder. Nothing's better than pumpkin spice. We have our little latte or frappe or whatever that is. And when you open it up, you can see that there's a place in the top to hold a gift card. So that would be a great little gift. Get a $5 or $10 gift card to your Boo Buddy's favorite coffee or drink place. Make this card and stick it in there. And then there's day 2 of your Boo Buddy gifts done. Now this is made with a stamp and die set. This is More Than Autumn. It is not available in a catalog, but you can find it online. So I will pop up some slides with directions on how to find this stamp set and die set online. Okay. With this one, you have several options with wording. Nothing's better than, grateful it's finally, love you more than, you had me at, this calls for, and then you have pumpkins, peppermint, cider, pie, hot cocoa, spice, eggnog, all kinds of fun things with some little images as well. And then there are dies that go with it as well. So you can stamp your cup and then die cut it out. Here's the nothing's better than. There's some words here. This one is hot. Cocoa is over here. So you can punch out all kinds of things to make a card specifically for your friend. Okay. So let's talk about the materials. The first thing I'm going to do is show you the materials, and then I will pop up another slide that has a materials list. Once you see that materials list, you can pause the video and you can gather your supplies if you want to, and then push play and come back together, and we can put this card together. We can work at the same time. Okay, what you're going to need to make this card, let's talk about our base card color first. This is basic black. So your base card is going to be 10 by 4 1/4. It is scored at 1.5 and 4.5. Okay, here's my score line, 1.5 and 4.5. Also, in my base color, I have a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 3 1/4. In addition to that, I have some more cardstock. This is my matte color. I used pumpkin pie because that is what is going to coordinate with the designer series paper that I chose. So my pumpkin pie matte color is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. You also have a piece of your matte color, 4 1/8 by 2 7/8. Another piece, 3 7/8 by 3 1/8. Another piece cut at 4 1/8 by 1 3/8. And then finally, you have a 3/4 inch strip. So your final size for this is going to be 4 by 3/4, but I'm going to leave it long so I can trim it to the right size once I have it glued down. Our basic color that we'll be doing our stamping on and our message writing on is not Whisper White, Basic White. It is 5 1/4 by 4. And then you have another piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 3. And this is the piece that you're going to stamp and die cut your greeting. So for mine, I used the Nothing's Better Than die, and I cut that out in basic black. I stamped pumpkin in the pumpkin pie color, and then spice is again in the memento black. I used the coffee cup stamp and die. I stamped it, used the die to cut it out. I cut out the whipped cream on top and the straw. I stamped a pumpkin in the middle of the coffee cup, colored it with my blends markers in pumpkin pie, and then basic gray. No, I think I did gray granite for this part right here. I did use some Wink of Stella on the Cool Whip or whipping cream at the top, and then I colored the stripes, every other stripe orange. When I made this, without this piece in the back, it looked a little bit plain. So I went ahead and cut a strip of cardstock and then a coordinating piece of designer series paper and just put that in the back and finished off my my greeting that way. Gave it a little bit more interest. So for designer series paper, again, this is some paper that I have in my stash. So I dug through and found what I wanted to use. This is all in the same paper pack from several years ago. But I have a piece of designer series paper that is cut at 4 by 2 3/4. A coordinating piece that is cut at 4 1/4. And then a 5/8 of an inch strip. The final size will be 5/8 by 4, but once again, I cut it longer so that I can trim it to the right size once I have it glued down. And then the last thing you're going to want is some sort of die or punch in the shape of a circle. It doesn't really matter what size it is. You're not going to be using the whole circle, but we're going to be using this to make that little indentation where we're going to put the gift card. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff laid out and ready to start stamping, I'm going to put up a slide with the materials. So once you see that slide, go ahead and push pause, gather your materials, and I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, welcome back. I have my base card ready to go. Now, the original plan was to make the card in landscape. And once I started playing around with the layout of my greeting, I quickly realized, with this piece right here, I quickly realized that it would not work turned this way. There just wasn't enough room to fit everything on there and make it look right. So I decided then to make it portrait style. So if your greeting has too much room, one thing that you can consider is turning it this way, making your greeting piece landscape, and you can make your card a landscape card. Okay, so how do you know what to do? Well, I'll pop up a picture. What I do is I take my piece, lay everything out, and then I take my actual stamps and just lay them where they would go, like where I would stamp something. I take my die, put it there, and kind of arrange my my greeting, what I want to stamp, arrange it using just the stamps and dies. And then that way I know if it's going to fit or not. And before I stamp something and waste the paper, I kind of already know the layout and how it's going to look once it all gets pieced together. So I'm going to pop up a picture so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And then you decide for your card, do you want to make it portrait, or do you want to make your card landscape? Play around with your stamps and dies and see what's going to work best for your card. Okay, for demonstration purposes, we're going to use it this way, but I just wanted to draw your attention to, if you don't want it this way, you can make a landscape. Okay, so here's my card. I'm going to go ahead and start with the inside. No, I'm not. I lied. I don't want to start with that yet. I'm going to start with this little flap right here. So for that flap, I'm going to pull my designer series paper that is 4 1/4. Uh-oh, I dropped some paper. Okay. So I have one that is 4 3/8. No, erase. I have my matte color that is 4 1/8 by 1 3/8. And then I have my designer series paper that is 4 by 1 1/4. I'm going to put those two together, and then I'm going to adhere it down to this little flap right here. Maybe. There it goes. Okay. And then this is going to get some adhesive, and it's going to get placed right here. Now be careful. My paper doesn't matter, but if you are using some directional paper where it does matter, like if you're using pumpkins or something, be careful. If you're doing a portrait card, don't glue your pumpkins upside down. Or if you're doing landscape, make sure your pumpkins are going the right way. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do this front piece right here. So I'm going to need my piece. Make sure that's the right one. Yes. Pull your piece that is 4 1/8 by 2 7/8. And then your piece of designer series paper, that is 4 by 2 3/4. So we're going to take those. And we're going to put these two together. And then pop them on right here. Just like that. And just like this. And I'm like to do mine upside down just because I'm right-handed and it is easier for me to get lined up straight. So if you need to turn yours upside down as well, just remember directionality if your paper requires it to be directional. Okay, so now this is going to get folded over. This is what it looks like expanded. It's going to get folded over, and then this is going to hold my gift card. This is where I'm going to go ahead and get my punch, and I'm going to line it up. I just want to take a little chunk out of it. I'm not punching the whole circle. I just want a little chunk. I'm looking side to side. Is it relatively even? And I'm just going to punch that out for my gift card holder. Okay. Now, I'm going to use some tear and tape. So we have a roll of tape. And I'm going to put a piece right here. I'm going to lay it down as close to the edge as possible and up to that score line. And I'm just going to tear. So tear and tape. I'm going to turn around my card and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to lay it down as close to the edge as possible. And I'm going to put my fingernail there and I'm just going to tear it away. Okay, I'm going to burnish real quick. I want this to stick really, really well. And then I'm going to get my take pick tool and take off the backing. And I'm going to close this up and burnish this really well with my bone folder. I want that to stay together because that is what is going to hold my gift card. Okay. All right. Make sure the gift card fits. It should have plenty of room. Perfect. Fits like a glove. All right. Let's do, I'm going to do this part first. So you're going to want your other base or your other piece of your base card color. So mine was basic black. It is cut at 4 by 3 1/4. And then you're going to want the matte color. That is 3 7/8 by 3 1/8. And then you want your greeting. That is the piece of, mine is basic white. It is cut at 3 3/4 by 3. And that's where I did my stamping and my die cutting for my greeting. So all 3 of these pieces are going to get glued together. And then we will place it on the front of our card. All right, I am all glued together. Now this is going to go kind of centered-ish, not really, it's more centered between the top and sides than it is to the bottom. So it's not really top to bottom. I want about the same width around it on the top as these two sides. For that, I'm going to use my Tombow, my green glue, and my handy dandy measuring tool. I'm just going to reach up underneath, put my fingers until I hit the edge of that flap, and I'm going to turn it over, and I know that I don't want glue past this area, so I'm just going to squirt some liquid glue, and that is going to help me give me some wiggle room, so I can move it around until I decide that I have it centered how I want it. That looks pretty good. And now I think we're ready for the inside. So our inside piece is your piece of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. You have your matte color, your 3/4 of an inch strip, and your designer series paper that is a 5/8 of an inch strip. And I'm going to glue those two together. Like so. And then this is going to go on the bottom of my card. So of my basic white. So what I want to do is I'm going to kind of close this up. I know it's going to have a mat on it, but I'm going to get the white pretty much where it's going to be. And then I want to see down at the bottom, where do I want this? How much do I want? Like, I don't want to put it way up here. I don't want to put it way down here. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it and see, okay, I know I want about that much space. What's that, about 1/8 of an inch space down at the bottom? So that's where I'm going to glue it. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put my glue. For my grid paper, I don't even really need to use it because I can kind of look here and say, yeah, that's about 1/8 of an inch, and it looks pretty good side to side. Okay, now my scissors come out, and I'm going to cut off each side to make it flush with the white. And I'm ready to mat this piece on my pumpkin pie that measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So let's put these two together. Looks great. This is going to get put on the inside of my gift card holder. I'm going to do it sideways. Once again, I'm right-handed, and this just helps me line it up easier. And voila! We have a super duper gift card holder. If you have a boo buddy or a friend or a child or a mom or somebody that likes pumpkin spice, make them a card, get them a gift card to their favorite coffee shop or drink place, and they're going to have a great little gift for Halloween. All right, friends, I will see you back here next Wednesday at noon. We will make number 3, and it is going to be a like a drink packet holder card. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned. And until then, happy stamping.